So next we go to the Bloodline comes out, and it's Sammy and the Usos. Okay. Zayn started off with the mic and told the Seattle crowd that the Bloodline is in your scene. Zayn started to tell a story about growing up a young honorary Uso, and then Jey Uso cut him off and told Zayn to tap that Roman Reigns is still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And Jey said Reigns beat Drew McIntyre on his own turf, and little does Drew know how deep this bloodline runs. Jimmy introduced the latest member of the bloodline. Solo Sikoa comes out and makes his entrance while video packages played some NXT highlights and his interference to the Clash event. Zayn held his arms out for a hug. Sikoa eyed up Zayn and nodded at him. Then Sikoa stood in between his brothers and soaked with the booze. He got the mic. You come from my family and I come for you. You create problems and I finish them. Solo Sikoa is here to stay, and the bloodline just got bigger and stronger. And Jimmy said, you are the twos and we the ones. Then the Drew makes his entrance. He's got a chair in his hand. Zayn and the Usos left the ring and Sikoa stayed. McIntyre hits Sikoa in the stomach with the chair from the floor and then in the ring. And McIntyre was going to slam the chair over Sikoa's back, but Zayn shoved Sikoa out of the way and took the chair shot himself. And then they all powder out, and then McIntyre stood tall in the ring. What do you think of this?
Well, this was another great segment, and I thought very good booking too. What a way to introduce a new character. They did a video package on him. They said that's their little brother. He looked credible. He talked credible. I mean, he didn't look nervous at all, bro. He looked comfortable as Mm-hmm. And all we need to see now was, could he deliver in the ring? And we'll get to that in the main event. Right. I also thought the fact that, Zayn took another shot for the bloodline, which, lets Roman know, hey, I'm with you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, this storyline has been incredible, but more incredible than this is the way they debuted this Solo Sikoa, because everybody left the ring like, oh, here comes Drew again, this crazy. And Solo was like, it, let's go. It made him look like a badass,
Yeah, and at the end, when they were in the ramp, Drew challenged him to a match,
right?
And Sikoa didn't back down. Said, "Yeah, I'm going to whoop your ass."
Right, and he had a lot of heat too. Right. When he went out there, he had a lot of heat.
Right.
These first two segments were very good.
So we go to the locker room, and Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso are firing up Solo Sikoa. Sammy enters the room, and Sikoa told Zayn that Roman said he was the man, and he was right. Sikoa said he appreciated the help, like taking the chair for him. And this got Jey Uso kind of pissed off a little bit. And Zayn asks Jay, what's the deal? Jimmy said it's about Sikoa tonight. Zayn tells Sikoa if he needs anything, they're all looking out for him. But Jay says Sikoa knows it, but he needs to go do it on his own. But if he needs help, he would ask Zayn. When he said if he needs help, he would ask Sammy. Jay slapped away and said, now we're all going to go to the ring together. So it's like, but this is good. They're like, I don't know where it's going with Jay and Sammy. But their
obviously something's probably going to happen. I'm thinking, where them two get into a fight, and of course his brothers have to defend them, and then Owens gets involved. Right. So but this is great. This has been great.
Next is so Drew cuts a promo backstage and said a Clash of the Castle should have been the biggest moment of his career. Said he'd be champion if it wasn't for Sikoa, and McIntyre said he's sure the head of the table is happy with him, but actions have consequences, and Sikoa would not like the consequences of his actions. That was actually a pretty good line.
Right.
So then they go to the main event, and Drew versus Solo Sikoa, and bro, this guy can work.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Right.
A competitive match.
Right.
The Usos, they do a spot.
He sold a lot for him too, and he looked believable.
They do a spot where the Usos attack. They interfere with Sammy, distracts the ref. The Usos attack him on the floor. The Street Profits come out and help. And these guys were throwing some pretty good wild swings at each other. Like this is a good little brawl on the floor, right?
Right.
And then what's his name does a dive. The Montez Ford does a dive on the floor, and McIntyre avoids a Samoa drop. That goes to hit Samoa with the Claymore kick. He knocks him out of the ring. And out of nowhere, Karrion Kross attacks McIntyre and gets him in the comes from behind and gets him in a choke. And the screen goes black and white, and he's choking McIntyre out, and it's fading to black as McIntyre is being like he's being choked to death. I guess is what they were trying to sell, because like Cole was like screaming and like somebody come, so we need some help out here. So everything. I thought it was a creative way to end the show. Well, what did you think of this?
I loved it, bro. I thought this was a great main event. That Solo looked great. As I've said, when have you seen a Samoan that can't work?
Right. Seriously, that's a good question. Are there any Samoans in the business that can't work, that are not good?
Right. And
So seriously, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
and now the Street Profits are probably they have a number one contenders match. Okay, next week with like New Day and Alpha Academy.
Wait, let me give the names here. It's the New Day Street Profits, Alpha Academy, Los Lotharios.
Right, which they'll probably win and go against the Usos again, which will be a great match.
Right.
But this is what I loved about the ending. Okay, this is what I thought was great. I loved when he had him in the chokehold, and then Drew looked like he was going to get out of it, and the place went nuts, and then he reapplied the chokehold.
Right.
That's a nice little touch. I love how Cross was talking mad in his ear the whole time. Yep. That was another great touch. Yeah. I love Scarlett on her knees enjoying all of it. That was a nice touch.
That's good stuff.
Going to black and white and then fading to black was great stuff. This was a great ending.
Yeah. Yep. It's making Cross
very well
pretty
booked,
strong,
bro.
So very well booked. You're right. So so that's been our SmackDown.
By the way, folks, that's what good booking looks like.
Yeah, that's been our SmackDown review.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.